Hey everyone, welcome to the Horror PSA presented by Scary Nerd, and as always, we are your hosts. I'm Paul.
I'm Saul.
And I'm Angie.
The following is a public service announcement.
The year is 1996. The movie, Frighteners. The director, Peter Jackson. Produced by Robert Zemeckis, starring Michael J. Fox, Jeffrey Combs, Dee Wallace, and I guess you could say starring Jake Busey, even though
technically
it's
yes.
Jake Busey, I guess.
Jake
but
Busey.
He's in it. He's not bad, but he's not good.
He's Jake Busey.
It really is. Like,
there's no in between.
I don't know. There's just something about him. Like, his dad's terribly great, but he's just, I don't know. He's just there.
Yeah.
So we watched The Frighteners, everybody.
Yes, we did.
And what a trip down memory lane it was for me and Angie, I believe. I don't think Saul, this was your first
was
time.
the Frightener version.
We had all seen it. Producer Kim had seen it. We had all seen it before. Saul, this is your first time. So,
Yes.
Saul, what is your
First
real
reactions.
quick first reactions to the movie?
I didn't like it.
Get the hell out of here right now.
Boo!
All right, give your microphone to Kim this. I don't see how you do not like this movie.
I didn't like it.
All right. Well, okay, we need a different.
I thought it was too much like it. I think it tried to be too much like other movies, and that's the one thing that I didn't like about it.
Okay, was it trying to be like other movies that were after 1996?
No, before 1996.
Okay,
what?
what movie?
It reminded me too much of like a more comedic version of Ghostbusters.
No,
Or
see, I was thinking it was more like Casper realm.
Yeah, that too. It
Casper and the Ghostbusters, and
it just reminded like the whole thing with the ghost thing and the way the ghosts looked. I don't know if it was because of the CGI, but then again, it was 1996.
This was just the technology of the time.
Oh, that's CGI. So talk about memory lane. I did not remember how awful the CGI looked. And that first opening scene where the ghost is in Patricia's wall and he's going after poor Dee Wallace, I was like, oh, this did not age well at all.
The other thing I think about is one of the reasons I may have not have liked it is I think I was thinking it was a different movie than what it actually was. I wouldn't know it blindly.
You do that a lot.
You do. You have way too high expectations.
I should have watched the trailer to get a little bit of an idea of what this was going to be because I thought this was going to be more.
Hold on. Okay, you thought it was going to be what, more serious?
Yeah.
Okay, let me just stop you right there. You know this movie was starring Michael J. Fox.
I thought this would have been one of his actual movies where he actually tried to be serious.
What movie?
They all have them.
What movie is that?
They all have them.
What movie
They
is
all
that?
have at least
What
one
movie did Michael J. Fox do that he was trying to be serious?
This is the one I thought it was going to be trying to be.
He was always
No.
kind of that sitcom-y comedy, like...
Yeah, like it was...
Like, was it the Doctor one he was in? Dr. Hollywood?
Doc Hollywood,
Doc
yeah.
Hollywood. It's the same thing. It's
Yeah,
that kind of
he's the
comedic,
same-
real-life...
He's
like,
a sitcom character in every movie.
in every
A
movie.
little word of advice for everybody else: don't judge it on the movie poster because the movie poster was what I thought was like. Okay, this is what's I think is going to be a little bit darker than what it was.
And it's like the guy in the wall coming out. Yeah, okay.
All right, I will give you that.
I'll give you
because
that.
If you go based off the movie poster and you've never seen it or didn't know anything about the movie, then yeah, it definitely makes it look a lot darker than it actually is. But I think, yeah, having seen the movie and then seeing that poster that you're talking
that's
about,
what I think
that's
it
why
did
I'm
it
like,
for me.
I'm like,
Because I thought it was going to be a different movie than what it was.
The posters really didn't match the movie.
No.
so you're literally judging the movie by the poster.
I did on this one, and like I said, I thought it was going to be one of Michael J. Fox's attempt to have like a serious type movie.
He's not like Adam Sandler where he tries to do
No.
an Oscar-worthy
Well,
performance.
He knows
every
what
once
he
in a
is.
while. He's
He
like,
knows
hey,
who he is.
He made a great living off of just being over the top characters in different situations. This one's with ghosts, the other one was time travel.
And this
the other
one's
one, he's
such
doctor.
a caricature of, like, I felt like Michael J. Fox, like, acting. Like, when he's just, like, driving over the hills and stuff. Like, he's just, like, going everywhere.
Like, I loved the fact that, like, Michael J. Fox is always, like, Alex P. Keaton to me. Like, he's always that character from fucking Family Ties, right?
Yeah.
I'm too young
So-
to remember Family Ties.
I
So
remember it.
when you see this movie, I love that basically throughout the whole movie, his character has no fucks to give about anything.
No
Like-
fucks.
Like when we get in the opening scene where he's at the at that funeral. And he's like trying to hand his card out, and then randomly, like when they kind of kick him out or whatever, he just
tosses
throws
them.
his cards in the air. And is like, "Fuck
I
it,
love
whatever."
Just a fucking handful. It's like, here's my cards.
Yeah, so I love that I even wrote down, like, he's, one of the scenes I put down, no fucks driving, where he was just going over turning over the corners or whatever, just going, like, through the, like,
he
the
was
turns
just
or
cutting
whatever.
through the lanes.
Oh, yeah, he was just going around.
Like,
fuck this, I got places to be.
He is a death wish. It's not that he doesn't give a fuck.
Oh, but that house, that opening scene house, I have loved that house since I have seen this. The first time I watched this movie, that was my, like, house of dreams.
It has no roof.
Oh, I know. I know it's not a real house.
It is a real house. They put it. Yeah.
No, I'm talking about Patricia's house.
Oh yeah, that was an awesome house.
Patricia's.
Yes, it's like got the purple colors. Yes, it's all like the wallpaper. I'm like, this is my dream house. I need to have this house and live in it.
It's the psycho house to me.
And that mom was fucking rocking that Dracula look. I was like, yeah, she's got the big double.
I wrote down she's got Disney evil stepmother mom hair.
No, see, I was thinking more Dracula.
Was Futurama mom.
Oh, yeah, she did.
I love her line, sins of the flesh will ruin her. The first scene where Johnny... Okay, I'm confused about a few things, all right? So we'll get to that later when we talk about Johnny and Patricia towards the end of the movie. But there's a few things that I'm just kind of confused about with the timeline, basically, of Johnny and them. So
okay. I love Patricia's mother. She's so fucking creepy. Like, I truly believe that when she came to audition for this movie, she just walked in with that hair and, like, a shawl and just stared at the producer and the casting people. That was her audition.
It was some young casting kid, and it's like, okay, go ahead.
She didn't even have to say any lines. Like, with that stare alone, you get this job.
She probably sat there and said, when do I start? When do we start filming? He's like, we haven't, no.
I don't know if she actually has real kids in life, but if that person is a real mother, those poor children.
She's probably like the sweetest grandma ever.
Oh, probably.
Isn't it usually the people that play the meanest thing like the nicest people ever? It's like
let's hope.
Polar opposite.
But I was like that. Well, I hope to have that kind of a death stare someday.
If we go based off of real life, the people that always play the nicest people are always like scumbags in life. So
yeah.
Kind of go.
Except for Tom Hanks, hopefully.
Well, yeah, his characters are always kind of in the middle. They're not dicks, and they're not like the greatest guy ever. So is he. Like, he's just in the middle. He's like, I'm a decent guy. Like, I'm not above or beyond, you know?
Yeah. I think one of the big things that made me love this movie, especially when I saw it back in 96 or 97, whenever it got around to Iowa.
2001.
Probably. I feel like Iowa is like 5 years behind everything.
Oh, no.
No.
Is it further?
No.
Well, Paul, you've been to Iowa.
It's like going back in time, really.
Okay, so back when I saw this movie, when I first saw this movie, I think what really drew me in as a kid is I love a good horror story with great lore. Like, the whole town has this sort of, like, overshadowing of these murders and, like, something still kind of creepily going on. And it's, like, such a rich backstory and everything's so, like, devious and, like, deceptive. I just love it.
So the house that they lived in was on the grounds of the sanitarium, right?
Yes.
And that was just, like, the caretaker's house?
Probably,
I don't know. I kind of was confused about that.
Like the caretaker's mansion or some shit?
Something like that. Maybe that's where the people lived or whatever that worked at the hospital. I mean, who knows? It could have been something like that. But it was very convenient to have that there, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But now that, like, I was a weird kid because I wanted to live in that house on the grounds of that hospital where a bunch of people died.
I did like that house, though. You're right. That thing looked huge. It looked creepy. It looked scary.
I loved it.
That house.
I was like watching this movie as a woman in my 30s. I was like, look at that wallpaper. I need that wallpaper. I need those rugs.
Yeah, and as a man in my 30s, I'd be like, oh, fucking electricity bill is up to fucking crazy. Like,
I'm with Paul, too.
Like, how much is it going to cost to heat this
We'll
place?
get solar panels. We'll get solar panels. It'll be okay.
No, if you have a house like that, it always has to be overcast. Like, I don't care. Like, that's why I would never own a house like that, because I was like, it has to be overcast.
We'll just light a bunch of candles. It'll be fine.
Yeah, but then those become fire hazards. You know, burn down your perfect house? I think not.
So when we get more of Frank's no fucks driving, he smashes into the fence, and I love that
little white picket fence.
Yeah, I love that it was like further evidence of like him just not giving a fuck, because when he backed out, he ran over more of the shit.
Yeah,
he was basically like, "Here's my car, just
the thing
build
I
me."
liked about that is when he made a beeline to run over that gnome.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
he saw it in his rear.
Yeah.
He was like, "I'm gonna run over that gnome just to spite you, dude."
Yeah, I think It gives you one of those things where it's like, I'm sure he's used that before, where he's like, fuck, I ruined something or I broke something. Like, all right, well, we'll settle this later.
We'll settle this.
Here's
I'll
my
get the
card.
ghosts out of your house.
Like, he gets his guys to come over and just
Start fucking with them.
Yeah, he has a ghost ruse to get business as a psychic.
Hey, what? And why isn't he cleaning up then? Like, why don't they move to a bigger town? Like,
Right?
this would totally work in bigger places.
It would very
Move to a
much
big
so
city.
Like,
work.
you could do one job a month if you did this right. Like, these
Right.
ghosts were kind of tired, I guess. and,
He's
like,
got ghost best friends, and they help
I
him
want to
out.
know how they died. His ghost friends, Stuart and Cyrus.
Hmm.
Because one of the things I wrote about Cyrus, I'm like, oh, it sucks that you die. Like, your clothing goes out of style.
Yeah.
Like, if you're just stuck in the last thing that you're wearing. Because that's what Ray is
That's
in,
what
right?
Ray's
Like,
in,
his
yeah.
Workout, his weird, like, sailor boy workout uniform. Like, what the fuck? Like, weird
Yeah.
striped shirt that he was wearing.
It was
like,
a weird Ray's character. Everyone knew Ray was a dick.
I think it was funny when they go to like the dinner later, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh my god, it sounds just like." I'm like, "Damn!" I'm like, she's like, "Where's the money or whatever?" And that's when Frank was like, "Oh yeah, it's gone. Like whatever, just blah blah blah." He left, and then she just starts talking shit about him. Like,
Yeah.
"Well, it sounds like something you do," and I'm like, "Guy's a real ass." Like even like the wife was like, the night of the funeral, going out with this other guy, and like I mean, they didn't think.
She got over him. really
Well,
bad.
Ray was a kind of a jerk.
Okay,
He's
at the
kind of
funeral,
a-
at Ray's funeral, the guy giving the sermon at the fucking graveside was like, "We all know Ray could be difficult at times. Like everyone
Pretty much
knew
admitted
Ray
it.
was a
Okay,
dick."
that was my other question about this whole fucking thing, because didn't he say, like, there was a line that he had, and when they were at home that night, when the ghosts come to levitate the bed, and,
Yeah,
you know,
they've only been in town for
and-
like 3 months
yeah,
or
and-
something. Yeah.
So he's like, "We've only been in town 3 months." I'm like, okay, so we just moved to this town. Not only do I die and have to wear the last clothes that I was fucking wearing, now you're gonna bury me in this town that I don't know anyone. And so who are all these people at his fucking funeral?
Exactly.
I
And
assume
how
they were
old-
out of town people that knew her.
And not just that though, but for the guy giving the speech, if we're led to believe it's just the people that live there at the town, for him to say that we knew you could be difficult, like really, after 3 months you're that much of a dick where everybody
Everybody
know
knows.
that?
Yep.
That's why they were at his funeral. Like, good, fucking bastard.
Fucker's dead. Let's celebrate. And that restaurant, did they go to a medieval times? Is that where they
It was something like that, because there was
They were like
the-
all Renaissance dressed
yeah,
and shit.
the waiter has like a night uniform,
Yeah.
basically, like without the actual armor, like
And all the waitresses had like the long dresses on. I was like, did they go to medieval times to discuss Ray's
My
death?
husband's dead. I need to know where the money is. Let's go to medieval times.
Go to medieval
It was
times.
the one thing that Ray never wanted to fucking take her to. She's like, I always wanted to go to fucking
Tonight, I'm going to medieval
You know what?
times.
You know what, Frank? Meet me at medieval times. Because fuck Ray. He's dead. I gotta worry
Well,
about
even
it.
during that conversation,
Where
he
does
was
Ray
like,
go? Where does Ray go?
During that conversation, he's like, "We always drink red," and she was like, "I'll have white wine, please." Like he didn't even know what kind of wine his wife drinks.
Well, it's probably one of those things that he always just got red and she never said anything or whatever.
I took it as that. He's not here to tell me no. So
Well, that's
Okay,
why
so
I was
yeah.
like, she got over it fast because she says we hadn't been honest with each other for a long time because they clearly weren't right for each other.
Well, he blew $16,000 on something.
I honestly
so-
thought when she said they hadn't been honest for a while that she was going to reveal that they were having affairs with other people. 'Cause That's what it seemed like to me.
It was kind of a small town. I think you would know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Ray seemed kind of like a self-centered asshole, so he probably wouldn't.
So everybody just didn't tell Ray.
Yeah.
Like, screw Ray. Screw his wife. I
Obviously,
am.
the amount of time, like, I mean, that's what I took from Ray is he was just a self-centered asshole.
So we're all in consensus that Ray was a jerk. Either
Yeah.
way.
Ray
So
was a dick.
So where does he go when, like, he got mad at Frank after the whole dinner thing, and then he leaves, or like he runs off? I'm like, where do you go? Like,
yeah, he wouldn't know
Yeah,
what
as
to
a
do.
ghost.
like, what do you do as a ghost when you're just stuck there? Like, where do the other ghosts go?
I don't know.
They just kind of stay there.
Yeah.
Like, they're just kind of hanging out.
They hang out with Frank or they
Like,
hang out at the
Okay,
cemetery.
that
and
is horrible, because then you can never sleep.
Nope.
Yeah.
You can
He's
just
so
sit there.
bored.
Like, you would sit there and do nothing.
Like you have to watch The Living? How boring.
Just hang out in chicks' locker rooms, I guess. And Stuff like that.
Gross. Don't be a dirty
Didn't
ghost.
say the doctor's office.
Be a mischievous ghost and start fucking with people.
Knock stuff off the shelf all
Yeah.
the time.
I loved how in this movie they kind of explore aging ghosts. Like, because it's clear Judge is like an Old West kind of.
Yeah, he had. There's a scene where he's walking around, and I'm like, this is like in Coco in the Disney
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, like once
Where
they're
it's like, it
forgotten.
was like, yeah,
they're
well, no, it
away.
was like it just had his spine that was like his rib cage, and then just nothing but the lower spine connecting to his pelvis and all that. I'm like, that's exactly like in that cartoon.
Yeah.
And he was losing his jaw.
Yeah, and he said his ectoplasm has dried up.
And there was a dog.
Where
There
did the
was a
go?
dog.
There
Where
was a
did the
ghost
dog
dog.
go?
The dog
Yes,
just
they
disappeared.
showed the ghost dog like once.
Was
or
it
twice.
his dog?
It was a stray dog that just
just
like
a stray dog.
It found his jaw. That's what it was.
I was looking forward to seeing the dog, but
And
it
like
just
when
disappeared.
when they do
So
go to the
if we're
cemetery
going, there's
and
no other ghost animals. So this was the conversation we had in another podcast. We were talking about how there's never a ghost animal. So
And this
there
one
is.
this movie had
There's
ghost
one.
animals.
That one.
Just dogs, because we all know dogs go to heaven. All dogs go to heaven. That's the only animals that go.
I
to
know,
heaven.
like, what if like deer came back and you could see ghosts and like
And
they're
what-
all running across
yeah,
the
and what
road
if-
and you don't know which one's real and what's
So
not?
yeah, like if you have other ghost animals, like wouldn't it just be annoying? Like
So annoying. There'd be too many.
no, like there would be a dog and a cat like chasing, or like a fucking bear and like a deer somewhere. Like you're out, like imagine poor Frank, like he goes camping and it's like, fuck, I gotta see all these bears and
Ghost bears everywhere.
ghost bears.
But see, but those animals know they're dead.
I don't know.
That's the thing about it, though. You think a bear about know it's going to dead, it's going to try
This
to
is
eat.
Well, I
some-
think-
this is some high ass
I
conversations right now.
I think that the first time that the bear's like trying to swipe at like something
It's gonna be
and it's
pissed.
just going through it, it'd be like,
If it's bear launch, you'd be like, why can't I eat this? I'm hungry.
They would- but would it be hungry? It's dead.
It doesn't know it's dead.
But then I don't.
I don't think it knows it's dead.
All right, we're getting. And this is
Would
like
it-
some stoner
would it
conversation.
know
we're
that it's
having.
hungry? I love the floating Elvis statue and the Raggedy Ann doll when the
The Raggedy Ann doll was crazy.
when Cyrus and Stuart
Yeah.
came back to hunt Lucy and Ray.
Yeah.
I noticed the Elvis statue in the background he's working on. Like, that's just weird to have. But then I guess it served a purpose when it was, the bed levitating and they were floating shit around and all that.
Yeah.
The Raggedy Ann thing was what cracked me up.
And then when she turns around, like, the Raggedy Ann doll's like humping her leg.
Was it humping or pulling?
it
It was
looked
pulling.
like
It looked like it was humping her
Pulling.
leg.
I'm with Paul. That's what it looked like.
No,
doing.
it was pulling.
I don't. And why? Okay, it's weird to just have that in your bed as a fucking adult either way.
That's the point I was about to bring up, too.
yeah.
But I
You
guess,
assume
yeah.
that she's, what, in her 30s, maybe? And
Yeah,
she's sleeping
like
with a
they're at
Raggedy
least
Ann
like
doll?
mid-30s. Well, he's got his weird Elvis statue. Maybe it's that there was an argument.
Yeah,
They
but
were
I
like,
don't think he sleeps with it.
You get to keep this
still,
ugly
it's
Elvis
right
statue.
by the
Keep
fucking,
in my Raggedy Ann
the
doll.
door to the bedroom, though. So you're laying in bed and like you see it in the corner of the room. So it's like, well, if you're keeping that fucking Elvis statue, I'm going to bed with Raggedy
Well, I
Ann.
think he probably paid good money for that thing, though, too.
Hmm.
So he's probably going to get his money's worth
I
out of
don't
it.
know why you pay any money for that.
No, nobody should pay money for that thing. One of
All
the
those people do, probably.
Oh no, we've lost our Elvis demographic.
Yep, I've lost them. Shucks. The one thing I did really like
Hey,
about
we're
this
big in
movie.
Harley.
No, we're not. The one thing I did really like about this movie is the numbers in the heads. I always thought that was so cool as a
That
kid.
reminded me of another movie I want to say.
What?
There's another movie that has that with the numbers, isn't there? Or am I thinking something completely different? Actually, you know what? I hate to say this, but it's reminded me of that stupid Nickelback video. There's a Nickelback video where
The
there's-
Nickelback video?
Yeah. Well, that's what it kind of reminded me of, because there's aNickelback video on their foreheads. They have a number that's counting down. So
Never
that's what it kind of
seen
reminded me. It just has
Is
a number
it-
counting down.
Is
and
it
if-
like an homage to this
I don't,
movie?
I don't know. But that's what it reminded me of with the number thing. Because I'm thinking, okay, I knew what it was. When they did the number thing, it was like, okay, I know what it means because they're
And you
next to the
thought
line.
of Nickelback.
I don't know why.
So first of all, you don't like this movie, and you thought of Nickelback.
And you thought of
Get out right
Nickelback.
now. So you're banned.
Like I said, I'm not-
Give
Like I said,
him the
I am not
microphone.
proud to say that it reminded me of that.
I'm not proud to know someone that's watched a Nickelback video. So
Hey, this was
bad.
back when they were actually somewhat not hated.
No. Well, join us for the Solace PSA from now on.
Solace.
Hey,
Turn his microphone off. That's
I
it.
can't turn my mic- But anyways, the point I was trying to make was in the video they have, because I knew the number on the forehead was going to be, okay, your number or whatever need be. So obviously it's going to move on to, what, 38? Because Ray had 37, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna make a Nickelback joke, but I don't know any of their lyrics, so I can't.
So anyways, I knew where
Saul, what are some of their lyrics so I can make fun of you? He's gone radio silent.
I'm not going radio.
You're thinking about them.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
some in your head right now.
How
don't
did
you?
we get onto Nickelback?
I don't
The
know.
number thing on the
You
forehead.
know what? You know what it is? It's Canadians because it's Michael J. Fox is
But I'm not
Canadian.
Canadian.
But they filmed this movie in New Zealand for some reason because it's just weird.
Did they?
Yeah, this was New Zealand.
It reminded me a lot because we've been there of Portland, especially with all the green.
It
and
made me
hills.
think of the Goonies town.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it reminded
Yeah.
me of. It reminded me
Yeah.
of, like, did they film this in Astoria?
That's what I thought,
Astoria,
too,
and I'm
yeah.
thinking, okay, I see these hills, I see all this green.
That's
It
the only
reminded me
reason I
of it.
know that they filmed in New Zealand because I looked it up. And I'm like,
Okay.
I'm wondering if it's the same fucking town, but no.
Yeah,
it's
because they
in New
had
Zealand.
California. All the cars had California
Well, yeah.
plates.
Yeah, that's the one thing. Like, it's like I said, when we were watching, that's the one thing I started trying to think of too. Like you, like it looked a lot like the Goonies Astoria town, which is an awesome little town, by the way. And if you ever do go up there, they won't let you see the Goonies house.
All right, we're not talking about the fucking Goonies.
I know, we are way off on a whole
Okay.
other tangent.
Why was Ray wearing those weird like aerobic socks when he was working out too?
Because he had his workout outfit.
Yeah.
But why did he have the big puffy socks? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, what do those socks do for anyone?
They
Let
were
alone
puffy?
why was Ray
Were they
wearing
puffy?
them?
I don't remember
They
the
were
puffy
puffy.
ones.
They were puffy.
I didn't see him
will
puffy.
pull
I
up
thought he
my
was
phone
wearing,
right
like,
now.
two
No,
gym
Yeah, I
no,
thought that's
no,
what
well,
I assumed was
They
two
look
gym
puffy
socks.
to me. Where the hell is my phone?
But I do gotta say that number thing was cool though, because I kind of see what they were going at with that.
Yeah, I always liked that. I liked the whole idea of like serial murderers like counting their numbers. You know what I mean? And I loved that.
See, I like the reveal of that though, but like I said, I thought it was gonna do something else.
Oh
So
no,
the-
I always knew from way back that.
It meant your ass was next.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it meant you were
You're
next.
next.
But Jake Busey's character, I loved how he was like so concerned with how many people he's murdered. And like he's just
really
counting.
obsessed with everything.
Well,
It's,
I mean, that could. A lot of people could go that way. I mean, people have posters of Dahmer on their wall for some reason. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not far off to
No, it's
just
not.
be trying to one up the serial murderers of
And how
our
many
times.
and how many other movies have we had that to where like that was their motive?
Yeah.
and stuff like. Because think about was it the last Scream, with the two the Culkin and the one that ended up being in Scream 4, was it?
Scream for the Culkin, yeah, and
Yeah, it was the two
and the
nerdy movie
the
kids. or
Emma
We're talking about the
Roberts.
fourth
Yeah.
one, yeah, Emma Roberts.
okay,
How do you think he chooses his victims? That was my question for Jake, because I would think that, why don't you just, I'm here killing this guy, and then like when he was at the restaurant, when you had that the medieval night kill,
he killed,
and he killed that old guy in the bathroom. And okay, by the way, the scene where Michael J. Fox is crawling around the fucking bathroom floor, I was like, oh god, why would you do that? Okay, now I have a PSA about that. First of all, but second of all, the reason that I say don't crawl around that bathroom floor is I think men's bathrooms, there's pee and pubes on that floor. Right?
Yes, there is.
Do you guys pull out your pube?
No, okay, no. This is my question. Do women's bathrooms have pubes on the floor like men's bathrooms?
Not that I can recall.
Okay, then yes.
gonna have to start
Then
paying
here,
attention.
here's my horror PSA, man. Because yes, there's always pubes on the
Yes,
floor,
it's
like
disgusting.
around, like not everywhere.
It
It's
is
like
disgusting.
around the urinal, around the toilet. It's anywhere that you would go to the
It
bathroom.
is disgusting.
There are pubes on the floor. It's just a part of men's bathroom.
Not just that though, but the pee is everywhere.
Pee and pubes are on the
What
floor.
is the matter with you?
So
There's nothing
okay,
wrong with us.
No,
We're just
no,
telling the people
I'm
what's
not
wrong with
okay.
them. They
I'm
can't
not
hit the
even
freaking
kidding.
toilet.
I'm okay. I'm not even okay. This is my thing, right? Sometimes you'll go into some bathrooms and they're like, all right, there's a few pubes here. Like, if you're a guy, you just know that a few pubes in the bathroom are a given.
Yeah.
Okay, just being a guy, just guys' bathrooms, right?
Okay.
But sometimes you go into a bathroom and it looks like somebody took 2 handfuls of pubes
Oh my god.
and just did like the LeBron James thing
No.
and just let the pubes fly.
They're
Okay?
everywhere.
So my horror PSA.
It's like you guys are in there like trimming shit up, like that's where you
We
guys
are.
choose to like shave your shit in
not like
public
Paul-
bathroom.
No, it's not like
iron.
it's not like people go in and shave their pubes and just leave them on the floor.
No, but so they pull them out.
That's okay. I'm telling you, like if it's like late in the day, and yeah, you go into the bathroom and like, well, people work here all day, like there's pubes everywhere.
Oh
Right?
my god.
Okay, so my horror PSA for everyone, men and women, because I don't know, maybe there's some puby women's bathroom, but whatever. Please leave the bathroom with the same amount of pubes as you entered the bathroom with.
Yes.
And there's your PSA for the week, kids.
I thought it was going to be don't
Okay,
leave your pubes
so
everywhere.
yeah. Well, you shouldn't leave your... that's basically what I'm saying. If I have to dumb it down for people, don't leave your pubes everywhere. All right?
Keep your pubes to yourself.
If your
kids.
pubes... Okay, if your pubes fall off, like... Okay, because, hey, if you got long pubes and you gotta go to the bathroom, maybe your underwear's pulling on the pubes and they fall out
Or
when you're
you
doing it.
just act like an adult with pubes and take care of it in a responsible manner. Trim it, man. Like,
Manscaped.
trim that. Yes,
Oh,
Manscaped.
But fine. That's okay. But that's my point. Just keep your pubes where you have them. If you drop a few pubes, tell somebody. Tell them. Put a cone down. Like, look, there's pubes here.
A cone?
Can we get one of those pop-up cones like at Walmart where you like there's a spill with like just a curly hair on it? You just put it down in the bathroom.
No.
Well,
Define maintenance until in the bathroom
Yes.
is cleaning.
call the number
Yeah.
on the plaque.
Okay,
and
so
there's pubes everywhere.
There
Put something-
apparently is an American epidemic happening in our men's restrooms across our nation.
I think all
That needs to be
someone has
taken
noticed
care
it on the
of.
show, but I get where he's
Okay,
coming from.
you go to the bathroom at work tomorrow and tell me there's not fucking pubes.
I will take a picture of it and send it to you.
No,
I wanna see
ew,
it.
no.
I've been to that.
We're not. No,
There's pubes everywhere.
no. My horror PSAs are: don't drink and drive. Don't let your friends freeze you. But apparently, pubes were the bigger topic this month, this week.
Fine.
It's a message that needs to be sent.
Send her the picture.
I'm going to do it.
I don't want any
Send
pictures
her
of
the-
pubes.
Why did he have like this Grim Reaper look until Frank started fighting him, and then he kind of lost the robe, and then he was just regular?
Yeah, I don't get that.
I don't
I
get
didn't
like
get that
that.
part either.
Sometimes things hurt him, and sometimes it didn't.
Yeah, like I don't know. It just didn't make sense in some of the issues where when they're actually fighting Johnny, and as the robe guy, and then once he kind of injured him, or whatever, then like his real face came out, and that's when Frank was like, Johnny Bartlett?
Yeah,
Is that what
Johnny
it is?
Bartlett.
I think they were doing that just for the sake of being in the movies because they didn't want you to know who it was.
It was weird to me because like I do love this movie, but it really feels like two separate movies that at the end they try and merge together.
The other question I had too was because we know that what's his face, Stuart and Cyrus have been dead for a while, obviously by their clothes.
Yeah, from the 50s and the 70s. By the
And
looks of them.
Ray had died that same day, week, or whatever need be,
Mm-hmm.
and he was already decomposing more so than
Yeah, his
That was his
face-
ectoplasm, is what it said.
Yeah,
Was
but
it?
Yeah.
his face was like deteriorating.
Yeah, it looked to me like he was just.
Oh, yeah, on the
decomposing,
side
yeah.
and stuff?
No, like yeah, the sides, and then like
Yeah.
when his, because it always looked like they were crying,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder, like, what? Yeah, Cyrus's death. I was like, well, how did you die? Like, he's like a high school student or maybe like early college kid or something. From
Yeah.
like the 50s or something. I don't know. I
Stuart,
want
you
to
mean?
know their deaths. That's what I
Oh,
said.
Stuart.
Yeah,
I
you
want
said
to know their
Cyrus.
deaths.
Because that's one thing that I started wondering for me is you saw Ray and he was already decomposing a lot faster than everybody else, but yet
And then that thing that the Grim Reaper has, his slashy thing, what's that thing called?
the scythe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that apparently hurts ghosts. Because that's how he takes the judge down. That's how he takes Ray out in the house.
And that's the other
Yeah,
thing
he
I was
takes his
confused.
face
That's
off.
the other thing I was
Mm-hmm.
confused about too. So you can get killed already when you're like already.
Yeah,
dead.
I don't get that either because I'm like, where do they go then?
Yeah.
Because you're having a ghost kill another ghost.
Uh-huh.
So then my whole thing about
And then, like,
animals killing other animals is still valid then.
Yeah.
If you're
That's
gonna have
one
a
thing I
ghost kill a ghost, like it just made it seem like was he some sort of like did he have some extra power that he got? It just seems like they didn't explain anything why he was like this Grim Reaper guy that could kill other ghosts until he got injured a little bit and then like his ashes had to go back and all
yeah,
that.
and like why the scythe worked. Because he
Yeah.
was scared of it, too. When he
Yeah.
freezes, when Michael J. Fox's character Frank gets frozen and has his out-of-body experience to fight the Grim Reaper, he takes the scythe from him, and
Yeah,
then
and he's
he's like,
about to
no,
kill him.
no, like he's
Yeah.
like Jake Busey's character is laying there like freaking out.
Yeah, so where does this come from? Like where did this
magic scythe
this
come
magic
from?
scythe come from?
I need
you
more
can
backstory on that.
Get Peter Jackson on the phone. I want some fucking answers to this.
'Cause, yeah, that was the weird thing about his that he seemed to be more scared of that. But when
And
he had,
guns still work
yeah.
because Gunny comes out and he's got the fucking machine guns or whatever,
Yeah.
and then Ray takes them and starts killing the.
You mean Frank?
Why did I keep saying Ray?
I don't know.
No, I'm gonna fucking Terry and Todd this the whole fucking time. Man.
See, that's the other thing that didn't make sense to me either. Is the drill instructor? I know he has a name, but I can't remember his name. But Yeah, he
I
took
don't
his
remember.
machine
He
guns.
says his name, I think. I don't
Didn't we
remember.
just call him Sarge? I
Yeah,
thought?
Sarge.
Which is Sarge.
Pretty much everybody knows him now.
Yeah,
But yeah, he
he's
takes his
gunny.
machine guns and he guns down Gary Busey's character with the machine guns.
You mean Jake Busey?
Gary Busey is not
Gary
in this
Busey.
movie. He was probably busy talking to the ginger dead people.
He could have been. But either way, though, he starts gunning him down, but it doesn't kill him.
Yeah, when he starts shooting the first time, and he has those guns and he starts shooting everything, like, it doesn't hurt any of the other ghosts.
No, because what is it? When the judge, when he shot at the Grim Reaper one thing, it actually hurt him, like, to the point of where it left.
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
it
and then
hurt
it comes
him.
back with the scythe.
It hurt him, and then while he was humping that mummy, that's when it comes back with the scythe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I like it when they lie still like that.
Good
Those
set of
jokes.
teeth.
Hey, back in his day, a good set
Yeah,
of teeth
good
was
set of
hard to
teeth.
come by, alright?
Before fluoride was a thing.
So that happens, and then when they get the machine guns, it really didn't. It just seemed to what?
But wait, isn't it sad that a mummy's got better teeth than what he was used to in probably
Well,
the 1800s?
They probably ate better.
Maybe.
I liked the whole, like, Grim Reaper squeezing hearts thing, though. I thought that was cool. Like, what a way to go. Just have
I
your
thought it
heart
was
squeezed.
interesting, yeah, because the whole doctor explanation was that thing where it was like, it's like a heart attack, but it's not. It's like
Yeah.
All
their
their
heart was
arteries.
pressured.
Yeah.
So
So then, like, how could you ever, like, be convicted of that? Like, they thought Frank was a suspect because they're like, well, you were with this person, then they died. You
Yeah.
were with this person, they died. You stole the one bitch from the newspaper that everybody knows you hate, and then she's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a weird scene when she dies, and like, and then it was just horrible timing that when Frank was trying to fight Johnny or whatever, keep that from happening, and then like he falls over and he ends up falling on top of her as she's like her soul is leaving or whatever.
Yeah.
She had a weird fucking a weird thing when she died. Like her dialogue was like, "Did it feel good?" Well, I was like, "What?
Did
the
it feel
heck?
good killing your
Did it feel
wife?
good to kill me? And your wife?
You're
I was like-
sick."
I was
That
like,
makes sense.
I was like, you're kind of getting into this almost. Like,
That's really off though, because
weird.
she was alive when everything was happening, so he's then she can kind
Well,
of see.
She can't see.
couldn't-
So she just felt that she
didn't
fell
see-
back and she died.
She didn't see Johnny's Reaper guy or whatever.
No.
She didn't? I thought she did.
No, she couldn't.
Because then when he killed her, he flew away or whatever, and that's when
Oh, okay.
Frank fell on top of her, and as
Yeah.
her
Okay.
soul was leaving us, she's like, "Oh, now you're humping me."
Okay. Because I thought for whatever reason after that she died, she had seen the Reaper thing, but I'm like, why is she still yelling?
And it was, so is she gonna get to like heaven or whatever, and they'd be like, "Okay, it wasn't Frank. Like it was this." Oh,
Well, you have to apologize.
No, I don't apologize.
That's
You're
one
doing
other
that.
thing that I really don't like about ghost movies is like the whole tunnel to heaven thing. I see why they did it with all the ghosts, because at the end it does work for them with what they're going for.
You
But
kind of have to in this movie.
yeah, but like I would just assume that when you're dead you would know. Like if you're in the tunnel and like you magically go to heaven or whatever that is, you know things, right? So if you're dead, you know like, oh, it wasn't Frank.
If there's a heaven, and I know I've told you this before, my version of heaven is Jackie Mason, and I know he's not dead yet, but I get to heaven and Jackie Mason tells me all the unsolved mysteries that have never been solved. He tells me what really happened. I love how when well, no offense, I'm hoping he dies before me. He's like 90 something.
We'll see.
Thanks, Saul.
What? Mark, I'm just saying, we'll see.
Hey, no Nickelback in my funeral, okay?
I'm gonna play it.
Yeah, you got your CDs still?
Yeah, I do.
It's on the iPod, first generation.
It's all iPods.
I like at the funeral when Ray is talking to Frank and he's like, "Help me out of the fucking like the ground," when he fell into his own coffin and all that. He's
I was like, did they bury them that fast?
He's like, "Help me!" I know the guys are just like shoving dirt. Well, this is a small like seaside town, I think. So they're like, "All right, fucking
Hurry before the ground gets wet again.
I'm not doing this again. Just throw it." And when he's like talking to him and like the cop guy like turns around and like he just looks like a drunk to everybody.
Yeah,
like
he
he's
does.
talking to himself and he's like making weird like gestures to like pick people up and all that, and like everyone just thinks he's crazy anyway.
Like, what should I have, especially when you find out why he starts seeing ghosts? So why isn't that most of these people aren't having traumatic experiences now all of a sudden seeing ghosts?
Well, who else had a traumatic experience?
Well, you find out that what's her face Lucy at the end of it can start seeing
Okay,
them too.
because
Well, she had her heart squeezed.
Yeah, she almost died like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, because
So
the
that
Grim Reaper
explains
comes
that.
for her at one point.
But he didn't almost die though.
You don't know how bad the accident was.
Well, I don't know. The flashbacks kind of threw me off every time because I'm like, all right, another flashback. I just want to get back to the story, man.
The flashbacks were so like bright and pretty,
They
whereas
came
the
out
rest of the
nowhere,
movie
too. It
were
was a little
like.
confusing.
I love the hospital ones at the end where he's just like in and out of the past. I loved those ones. I've always liked those ones, and just watching the whole like massacre go down at the hospital.
I did love that part when they go to the hospital at the end.
Yeah.
That whole thing where he's kind of like stuck in it or whatever. I thought that was cool. The judge, I have to say, the judge reminded me of the old cowboy guy from House 2, A Second Story. That's the name of the movie. There's an old cowboy guy in that movie as well, and the judge character reminded me of exactly that same guy.
I have only seen the first House, I
Who was
believe.
played by Royal Dano in House 2. He's the old guy that was in Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Interesting tidbit of it. Let's talk about Jeffrey Combs now, because we need to get into his
Yeah, I was about to
Oh,
say,
yeah.
let's talk about
character.
Dammers and how creepy.
His weird ass fucking character, right?
I loved his character.
And okay,
Clearly
the
an
first-
autistic man.
I don't know if he's.
I don't know what
okay,
the hell
I
he's
don't.
doing.
I don't think that they were trying to make him autistic. I just think they were trying to portray that it was. He's been in so many weird cults that like he's just kind of conditioned to like, oh, when women yell at me, like he had those weird quirks about him.
He did, but when like he would be talking and they like he'd be like, "Don't touch me." Like there was the "Don't touch me." He would constantly go over and over facts and stories and like recite it word for word. Like that was clearly he had autism, and he
but-
was an FBI or whatever agent and had been through all the cults as an autistic person, and that's the result.
I don't know.
I think
I
so.
just think
Weird to me.
I just think he was. I don't know. He was just kind of like really. He was really dedicated.
Well, he was very dedicated and clearly
What
had a
was
lot
his
of
line?
occult
He-
influence.
He had a line in there that I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. It was something about his body, like, let's see if I can find it.
Well, he wore that.
My
lead
body is
vest.
pain or something
Yes.
like that. Yeah.
He wore that lead vest. Well, here's the weird thing about him with his character is I thought he was going to be something that he completely different what it ended up being him, because the whole thing with the lead vest, I thought, okay, he knows what's going on with the ghost going in there and pretty much killing him with the heart thing. So he's thinking probably if I wear the lead vest, he's not going to be able to get through it.
I think it's funny that his whole angle is like, wait, you think I can just move shit with my mind? Like,
Yeah.
that's what you thought that was going on this whole fucking time? Like,
He was just a weird character.
I was at the end where he was like, okay, so they find that Dee Wallace's character Patricia has got Jake Busey's
Ashes.
ashes, and so they have to
in the
get
piston cup is what
it. In
I
the
wrote down.
piston
It looked
cup,
like
yeah,
the piston cup
from Cars.
yeah.
Yeah. But they've got to get his ashes to hollow ground or whatever that whole thing is. And
He knew
Dammers,
about it.
yeah, he gets him, and he's like, these ashes can't be released. Like, he knows, like,
See, well,
occult
I thought,
stuff, right? So why would you empty those ashes out? If,
Well,
See,
thought
I
they
think
were-
I don't know. I kind of took that as like he was thinking Frank was a con, and I think that he was trying to say that Frank was using the whole ghost angle as a con, but he's actually able to move stuff with his mind. Like I think Dammers was just batshit crazy.
well,
in
yeah,
his-
he
in his
has that
theories
whole
and all
spiel about Nina, somebody who could
Yeah,
make
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
rat's heart stop or something like that in India.
Yeah, isn't that what we said? Like it's the ghost of Nina.
Yeah,
whatever,
it's the
like,
ghost of Nina is doing all of it. That's who it is.
it's moving things.
Here's what I thought. Here's where I thought they were going with when he did the spilling of the ashes.
It was the frog heart. That's what
The
it was.
frog heart. Okay.
Is I thought they were going to do the big reveal that he ultimately ended up being those two characters' son, because that to me it seemed kind of like it was going towards.
She was 15, Saul. Jesus, man.
But still, it would have added up with all the
Sins
all
of the flesh will ruin her.
and all that, because I thought it was going to be Patricia and Johnny's bastard child or whatever it need be. Because to me, it was like he knew a lot, like what Angie was saying, he knew a lot about the occult, which makes me think, okay, maybe he did some research and try to find out who he truly was. But I guess that was just me looking into it more than I should have. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been surprised if they had gone that way with it, though.
I don't
Was he-
think he was young enough to be.
Yeah, I
It could've been
mean,
one of
well,
those-
Yeah.
they would have had to get a different.
Yeah, they would have had to have somebody younger.
I think it's funny that Johnny, died at whatever he was 20 something. I think they said 20.
Yeah.
Something like
29.
that.
20 he was
29.
29.
I think he was
Did-
29.
and she was 15.
Gross.
I didn't catch that, but
I
are you
didn't
sure he
catch
was
that
29?
either. I know. I thought they said like 22 or something.
No, 29. The guy who was 29 was Right. That's what I heard him say. He's only
Oh, yeah,
We're
yeah.
talking
No,
about
Johnny.
So, okay, so I thought it was funny that, I mean, obviously he died at whatever age he's going to be that age, and now, like, Dee Wallace is, older, and it's been, years since then or whatever. And my thing to take a shot at Johnny was like, how has it been, like, I don't know, what do you say, 30-ish years?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then, like, and you're only up to 37? What the fuck have you been doing this whole time?
Well, he was in hell. They explained that because Patricia had only gotten out like 5 years earlier, and that's when they said that she got the Ouija boards and got him out.
That's right. It was
So
that whole end scene where he's like, she was had like ghost sense.
Yeah, because in the beginning, when the newspaper people are talking about the strange epidemic happening where these people are dying, they said over the last 4 or so years. So it hadn't been that long that they had been out and doing it, because it started with what's-his-face's wife.
Yeah.
It started with Frank's wife.
No,
and
she
then,
was number 13. Oh, wait, never mind.
Yeah.
So because he got the 12 in the hospital, and she was the first one after.
Yeah, so it had only been like 4 or 5 years that he had been...
Well, that's just lazy on him.
Yeah.
Because
especially if you can just squeeze fucking hearts.
I know, and like the first one you wait until they get in a car accident, and then you just go, all right, I'm just gonna go Kali Ma this bitch real quick,
Right.
and then
You have free reign, which nobody knows anything about you. You'd think his kill count would be that much higher.
Mm-hmm.
what a slacker.
Because in that short amount of time in that movie, he killed, what, maybe 5 or 6 people?
Well, maybe Patricia and Johnny had just been having a lot of ghost sex. You don't know. Maybe that's what they had been so busy with.
It could have been.
Could have.
She-
They were
she-
really into each other, and I really want to know. I know, like, Jake Busey was a whole, like, CGI'd into this, but I want to know if they, like, had to make out
Was
and,
he
like, get
though?
all over
Yeah.
each other.
Was he though, or was it like he
See,
was
that's
just
what I'm
wearing,
wondering.
He was actually there, and they just made him look like that?
I want to know. I gotta see.
Because I mean,
like,
there's the one scene where the doctor chick is talking to her, and she's got her arm
Yeah,
up, and
she's
doing that,
this, yeah.
and she kind of looks at her like.
I
So
love Dee
that,
Wallace
I mean,
in
that
this.
one I'm sure he wasn't actually there, but like most of it, I don't know. It's just weird. Like,
Dee Wallace in this is just
consummate professional.
psychopath.
If she had to kiss Jake. Busey,
Yes.
because, like,
She's all over the place. She's playing the, crying older lady who's, being abused by her mother. She's beating the shit out of people. She's shooting
Okay,
people's heads
so-
off. She's awesome.
So if you're saying that Johnny and Patricia were having ghost sex, does she like to be strangled then?
Maybe.
'Cause she had
Could be a
bruises
thing.
on her neck
Yeah,
that
she did.
strangled.
Yes, she did.
It's a possibility.
Choke me, Johnny. Sins of the flesh will ruin her.
I love when Dammers thinks he's moving the car.
Oh, yeah.
I am doing this.
Like, I'm really doing this. Like, I'm really doing this.
I thought it was funny when he pulls when he's talking to Frank and he has I call it his chastity chest when he pulls
Yeah,
out
the lead thing.
the lead vest
Yeah.
or whatever. I'm like, chastity chest.
See, that's what made me believe that there was more to his character, because why would he wear that?
And
He was just a weird character that just came and fucked things up basically in the whole plot. Like, all right, he comes to fuck it up again. I find it funny that when they bring Lucy in there and like Dammers is telling her all the stuff about Frank and all that, and she's like, he wouldn't do that. I'm like, bitch, you've known him for less than 24
Right? You
hours.
don't know.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know him at all. You've been in this town for 3 months, have not heard about him, or the fact that Patricia was batshit crazy and they sent you over there. Like, that was the thing. And like the mom was like, you have no idea who she is, do you?
I know. And she had to
like-
go rent something at the library about it.
You're like, this did. And that's later when they're like, we need to get these ashes on hollow ground, and she's like, oh, there's a chapel at the Santa. I'm like, thank you very much, serial killer VHS tape that I
Yep.
rented.
Yeah.
Well, that's the only reason she knew about that.
Yep.
When they were looking at the autopsy report, when Dammers threw all the paperwork down and was talking about, when he does that whole flashback thing about Frank and his wife dying or whatever, he throws an autopsy report down, and it's like a file or whatever, and it has like a little picture of the wife. I'm like, why is this bitch eating popcorn in the picture on her autopsy
It's
paper?
the only
That
one
made
they
no
had for
sense.
her.
Yeah, and I'm like, what? Like, what? Like, you couldn't find, like, not even a picture of just her face
Like
with
a
her
driver's
body
license
laying
picture
there
or
or something. I'm
something.
like, she's eating popcorn.
It reminded me of the file footage, or the file photo of Homer Simpson and the Simpsons. They're like, oh, local man, and they show the most absurd picture of
I
him.
want a picture of me and like a chimichanga on my autopsy report.
I like that once they leave the jail cell, or they break out of the jail cell, Lucy helps Frank break out of jail.
Again, having known
Wait,
him
wait,
less than
wait,
24
Yeah,
hours.
wait.
I have a question on the whole jail cell thing to begin with. Who the fuck lets somebody in a jail cell all by themselves, especially if they're
A murderer.
They're murderers.
Yeah, he's
You leave them all in there by themselves. You don't even have the
He's a
guard
mur-
out there.
well, okay. They shouldn't have been holding him anyway. I know my rights, goddammit. Either they charge him or they gotta let him fucking go.
But
right?
still, yeah. But point being, who the fuck lets in what is it?
So
an
if
alleged
they
murderer,
charged him,
an
they
accused-
shouldn't be letting her in.
Yeah, an
there.
accused murderer in a cell with no supervision.
Just be like, I'm fine, thanks. Thanks, deputy.
Call me when you need me.
White privilege. That's what it is. That's what it is.
I think that's movie privilege, because I don't think that would happen. either
Movie
way.
privilege?
Yeah.
It's movie privilege.
It's a movie privilege.
That's the first thing I thought about. Like, they're leaving him there by himself with her. What the hell are they doing?
I love that after they...
I know they could have been like boning or anything. Like
And it's
that,
one
and they
cop.
would have been like guards.
Yeah,
like,
it would've been
One
his
cup,
fault.
and
would've
I was
been your
like,
ass.
that's why the doors don't open outward, so you can't kick out the door. Like, this is the worst
Yeah.
design jail cell ever.
That's New Zealand for you. So if you're ever locked up in New Zealand,
Just
you
push the door real
you know how
hard,
to-
you'll knock
you
the
know how
guy
to
over.
escape. Well, he opened it first.
Well, yeah, but he unlocked it, and then they kicked it out, knocking him over. Like, that's
Yeah.
how they escaped.
Well,
So it was a very bad design flaw. But I love that they get out and they run, like, down an alley, and he's just like, I need to have an out of body
I need to have an
experience.
out-of-body experience.
And then puts
right
the
now.
gun to his head.
Yeah,
like,
she paused for a while.
I
when
know.
He said that.
and then she's like, wait. And then they just go to, I'm freezing you? No. Like, I need some specifics here about
Well, it's probably, if you think of like flatliners or anything like that, the freezing thing was probably the safest way for him to die. And come
Is it
back.
though? Because, like, he's in that freezer, right? And he sits down and then, like, he has to pull his arm off of something or something. Like, it's clear that it's cold and it's, like, everything's freezing as soon as he touches it, right? So I'm like, that's going to damage your skin.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I think I just remembered that you just brought up a movie that I thought it was. You remember when I told you there was another movie that I thought it was going to be? Flatliners. That's the one that I got confused with.
Mm.
Yeah, this is not
Yeah,
Flatliners.
it's not.
Yeah, so there's, what did she say? Yeah, she's like, you may have some tissue damage. I'm like, so, like, his dick's gonna fall out?
I know. I'm like, this
what do you
is
mean?
not...
Like, what do you mean tissue damage?
This
Gotta be more
just doesn't
specific.
seem smart. I mean, I know you're a doctor, but I guess I've never really seen your medical license, so I
She's
just
the-
want to know.
She's the backup doctor.
She's the backup
first of all,
doctor.
and she just lost her husband. And it's
She
like,
may
yeah,
not
like,
be making the smartest
and it's like the
decisions.
other doc gets there and he's like, all right, well, good news, bad news. We brought you back to life, and
Mm-hmm.
you don't have a nose, penis, or fingers anymore. So
Don't let people freeze you.
Don't
What
let
the
people
fuck is
freeze
wrong
you.
with you?
I love how he lives with-
all your pubes froze and they fell off.
In the
so-
bathroom, though. We put them where they go, in the bathroom.
We flushed them as
I
soon as
love
they
how when
thawed.
he went in the freezer, he just went in there barefoot, just jeans and t-shirts.
I know he didn't. Having known as much as he knows about ghosts and like what they're gonna be wearing, like why don't you fucking die with shoes or something? Like you're just running around in your socks, like trying to fucking defeat Johnny and all this shit. And you're gonna.
If you
fucking
die
shoes
with a
on.
gun, do you get to keep the gun? Like, put a
Well,
gun
where-
on
no,
you.
because
'Cause-
where did Gunny get the guns from?
Well, yeah, and where did the judge get the gun? So they had to have died
Well,
with them on
no,
them.
Gunny probably he just manifested them. The judge, I think, actually had them as
He
probably
died
buried-
with them. But
buried
so
with
why
his
wouldn't
guns.
Frank have some guns when he dies?
So what Frank needed to do was die with like a Ghostbusters
shotgun.
trap.
Yes,
and then,
precisely. He needs the
that-
pack. He
how do you
needs
bring
the
it
pack.
back? I don't know. Yeah. You just make a quick call to some friends they have in New York.
But anyways, even though with him being stuck in the freezer thing, you would think because he's barefoot, he has nothing to protect himself. Even if he's going to be frozen for a certain amount of time, don't you think he'd get frostbitten?
Yes,
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
His
He-
penis snapped off.
his things would be frozen.
He
His
stood
tissue
up,
would die.
He stood up and
It broke off.
that's what I'm saying. It's tissue damage.
It broke off like on the good.
I told you tissue damage. You didn't say my dick was gonna fall off. Well, don't bring me back now.
What did you think was gonna happen?
You were in a freezer.
But I thought this was better than just shooting yourself in the head. So, because that was Frank's other choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get out of body experience now.
I'm just gonna put this gun to my head real fast.
And how
He
would that
kept-
work
he
as,
kept-
as him as a ghost with his head blown off?
I don't know,
With whose head blown off?
Frank's.
Frank's.
I don't
Maybe it
know.
wouldn't. Maybe it'd have been like a Pascal situation where just like it's open in the back or something.
Well, I don't think the gun would have actually blown his head fully off.
Yeah, because it was just a little revolver, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
From that close though, Molly was still
It would have
Yeah.
been a huge chunk out of his
Yeah,
head.
it would have
but
been a huge
It
hole.
wasn't like he'd be running around like headless.
Oh, and
Which doesn't
what's
make
his
sense for what's
face?
his face?
Yeah,
The
Dammers
Dammers.
gets his. I love when Dammers gets his head taken off by the
Yeah, when he
shotgun.
gets his head blown off, like his head is still there as his ghost. So I
As
guess
his
your
ghost.
whole body as a ghost, no matter.
Yeah, I do enjoy that though, because he's so just like, what happened?
So like, do I get my arm back? Like if I'm missing an arm and then I die, does my ghost have both arms now?
Maybe if you manifest it that way.
Well, no, because if
It's all the
Dammers,
power of will.
if Dammers got his head blown off, but his ghost head was still intact, then I would imagine that you'd get all your limbs back still.
Well, I guess that's another
So then-
question
so
for
then,
Peter
yeah.
Jackson. Is
So then Frank has ghost penis, but not
Yes.
real life because of the freezer.
yeah, so Frank wouldn't want to be brought back.
and he goes to see his wife. So that's the fucked up thing that happened at the end. Just like he gets there, he's like, "It's not your time yet." But I have no penis. I know, and I told you not to sleep with anyone. Whoa.
Yes,
I
that
always
when
loved-
Frank goes back to Earth.
He's a silly.
Whoa.
Like he tripped. Like he just like. He didn't know what to expect. I'm like, really? Like, you really phoned it in to MJF,
I
didn't you?
know.
Like, fuck, man. Like,
That whole thing. That's like the most cringy part of the whole
he's
movie.
like, I just want this movie to be over with. Why did I sign
Whoa.
up for this? This fucking movie makes no sense. This ghost, oh my god.
The end though,
I know, and this is why after this he decided to stop doing movies. And he
Frighteners.
Yeah, he
Yo,
did.
he went
He
to he decided he was going to do TV again. That's when he went to Spin City.
Hmm.
And then when he found out he had Parkinson's, that's when he kind of retired from all
Yeah.
that. So.
Like, I'm not doing this.
So
no
yes,
more.
it was this horribly great, horribly movie that he was like, I'm done. This is it.
This movie's
If
so
this is the
fun.
movies that I'm getting, they don't make sense, and my penis fell off in the freezer. Like, I'm done.
That's a whole outtake. They
And
didn't
he kept calling Judge Doc. Like he kept blowing his lines and saying, "Doc, damn it." Like, that was like 20 years ago, Mike. Oh, it's probably what? 10?
I don't know.
It was 10 at this point. I love that there was the weird freezer alert on the outside of the freezer. Don't remember that.
The thing on the temperature on it. Couldn't
Yeah,
tell me where
and
it
it said
was.
like freezing alert. I'm like, isn't
That's
that
what it is.
Isn't
It's a
that what
freaking
freezers
freezer.
do? Do I really need an alert saying that the stuff in the freezer is getting frozen? It was a medical freezer. I
It's a
guess.
medical freezer, yes. I love the ending of this movie because it ties both stories that are happening in this movie into one tight little nice present. Like you get the old with the new, and you get to see Michael J. Fox's characters going back through all the history of everything that Patricia and Johnny did as children. And I love who they got to play small little Patricia. 'Cause I'm like, that's a good casting for her. It
Yeah.
does kind of.
Yeah.
And Dee Wallace, like I said, Dee Wallace is so great in this movie because she's just so crazy. And I bet those are the best roles to play.
Yeah, she's good at that kind of just bouncing back and forth kind of thing where she's one character then, but like she does it really
Yeah.
well in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
She did do that really, really well.
And I don't know, we're on the precipice of Women in Horror Month, so it's kind of great that this is our last episode of January because we have a final girl and a girl murderer in this movie.
Cold-blooded murder.
Cold-blooded murder. But
I-
yeah, she
when-
beats the shit out of Michael J. Fox's character. Like she strangles him
Yeah.
to death.
I found it funny that when they're in the car, when Dammers comes back and he gets Lucy and he's got her like locked up or whatever, and he's talking about showing her all the scars and like tattoos and all that. And he's like, my body is a roadmap of pain. I was like, oh, he's gonna die and now he's gonna become a Cenobite. He was on his way because they already liked the weird clothes.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of loose bricks in the cemetery for some fucking reason. As they're walking through and going by, like everything was just falling over.
Were there? I
Like
didn't
this
notice.
is the shoddiest fucking cemetery ever. Like everything's just wet. Like the ground's just too wet, and the mausoleums are falling over and shit.
Well, that's what happens in
Oh, when they get crashing and
coastal
everything.
cities, yeah.
Lucy had terrible timing
No, she did.
Why?
because he was about to kill Johnny when she brought him back.
Yeah.
Well, she was supposed to have already brought him back.
Well, that was a plot point thing, too. You always know that's going to happen. You have those troops in movies. It's like, he's about to kill
No,
somebody.
it's her terrible timing. That's all.
No, no. She had to bring him back or his dick was about to fall off. That's what she was rushing for. She's like, if I don't get him out of here, his dick is going to just break off.
I'm
How long
sorry.
did you say she was going to put him in there for? Like 20
10 minutes?
10 minutes, 20 minutes? Something like
I
that?
think it was 20 minutes.
And still, though, was like,
No, that's not enough time to go fucking murder
No.
somebody. I mean, even though you're a ghost, like he had to find him and shit still.
I
Like,
don't know. I'm just like, you're going to freeze me for 20... No.
It
No.
was like he had to learn how to be a ghost in those first few seconds. Like,
Yeah.
'cause he was like, "Whoa, whoa," like floating around. Like, he didn't know what the fuck he was doing. Like,
I
how did he
wanted
learn
him.
that
I
shit?
wanted him to just be like floating, like so ridiculously, like upside down, like through walls. I mean, he will just stop.
If he was hung by one leg.
Yes,
and
and
it
he's
was
just like he doesn't know how to fly
I can't stop. I
around.
can't stop. I can't
Yes,
stop.
that's what
Like,
I
damn it, He's
needed.
like, I overestimated my ghostness.
And was he like extra strong because he had just died? Like it seemed like anybody else, any other ghosts could have taken on Johnny.
Yeah, like
At
all
some
the
point.
ones that were standing around
Yeah.
doing nothing.
I'm like, come on, guys, you can get him here.
I guess if they were all afraid of him because they didn't know what it was. They just saw that it could kill ghosts. So they're like, fuck this.
Well, all of them needed to go be
Somewhere.
somewhere else anyway. Like, what a
So
shit
did- so did
existence
they-
is just living in a
Did
cemetery
they
for
not
the rest
go
of your existence?
Did they not go to the light?
Apparently
is that
not.
What happens?
Or maybe they didn't get a light. Maybe that's just what happens.
Well, if you don't get a light, then
You
you,
don't get a
then,
light.
Then you get what Johnny and Patricia get at the end, that weird like Satan butthole thing that swallowed them up. So it's either
Yes.
you get the light, or you
It's
get
the
the
Satan's
butthole.
intestines, is what it
It's
is.
like a clawed kind of teethy intestinal track. I
Yes,
guess. I
the
don't-
CGI is awful,
It was the
but
Starlight from Star Wars. is
but
what it
it's
reminded me
so
of.
cool.
Yeah.
I've always liked that.
It's Satan's butthole. Yeah.
It's Satan's intestines is
All
better.
right, whatever.
I like how they all just come out and
I think that's worse. If you're going to hell, hell to me is you're going in a butthole. Although, I
not
think-
gonna say something that nope. I'm gonna walk away from that. I'm gonna
Although-
walk away from
Although I do think that the best like go to hell kind of death things are in fucking the ghost, Patrick Swayze ghost.
Oh,
movie.
Patrick Swayze ghost
When-
movie?
when the
Yes.
guy- when the
Those things
killer guy-
terrified me as
when he's like,
children.
"Ah!"
I
They
was like,
come out
is
of the
that what
shadows.
shadows are? Oh my god.
That
yes.
that I was
that
like
was
I mean-
terrifying
I mean,
as
if
a
you
child.
look at it now, even then when you looked at it, I'm like, all right, this looks kind of like the animation or whatever the fuck. It
Yeah.
looked cheesy as shit. But I was like, that is the coolest fucking like bad person death that you could see.
Yeah, just the shadows like
Yeah,
coming
I'm
out.
like,
Oh,
what?
yes.
Because it's like, what do you do? Like, because even like every character in that movie when they died and those shadow things came out, they're just making the like grunting noise or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They just froze and were like, I don't know where can you run from shadows at night?
Right?
You're fucked.
Those things were fucking creepy.
Straight into Satan's butthole.
But maybe that's why I liked their. I always like those kind of like when they do have the duality. I like when they show the bad ones. So like them going to the hell. But like
yeah.
I thought the tunnel thing was cooler than the end part where you see Satan's butthole go down into the lava or whatever. I would have been fine with just like seeing it swallow and then like you just see it go
Just
away.
it kind of like sinks back into the
Yeah,
ground. Like
yeah.
When it turned and did all that shit, I was like, all right, well,
Yeah,
this is
like
too
that's
much now.
just bad. But I don't remember this movie having as awful CGI. But maybe it's just
it probably
because
wasn't that bad
it
when you
wasn't.
first saw it.
I think I just was like, look how good this is because that's what it
Like,
came
oh
out.
my god, that ghost is flying around.
The thing that always reminds me of how bad CGI is when you don't realize how bad it is when you go back and look at it. Because the one that's like that for me too is when you go back and rewatch it, man, it had some really bad CGI. It was the first Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah,
No, I'm sure that looks horrible.
It is horrible. It does not look good at all.
is it Scorpion's character who's got that little like
Yeah.
avatar thing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's got
that.
the thing in his hand. It just looks really, really bad.
Well, no, I'm talking about the one that is like
Reptile?
Reptile. That's
Yeah,
the
looks-
one.
Yeah, he looks really, really bad.
Oh, it's so bad in that movie. Yeah, but yeah, they were all around this because wasn't it Mortal Kombat 95?
Yeah, I
It
think
was
so.
somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But yeah. I do love this movie though. Final thoughts wise, I love this movie. Dee Wallace was everything to me in this movie. She was perfectly crazy, but perfectly like you could sympathize with her at points. Like you kind of didn't know where she stood until the very end. But I love this movie. Michael J. Fox is a caricature, but that's what is part of this movie that makes it great. It's not a really fun, or it's not really scary or really gory, but it's so fun. Like, you have so many major players that were a part of this movie film-wise that you can't help but have a good time when you watch this movie, for me.
Oh, back to what, like I said initially to start with. I didn't like it. Like, I mean, when I first saw it, I was like, that was it. But I think it's one of those things, too, where knowing what it is now, probably on multiple viewings, I probably would enjoy it. That was my first impression of it, was I didn't like it. But I think with time, if I watch it more, like, I mean, I did appreciate Dee Wallace's performance in it. It was awesome. I mean, you got Jake Busey pretty much being Jake Busey, and you know what to expect when you see him in movies. It's
Jake Busey. It's Jake Busey.
I'm Jake Busey.
Whether he's trying to be a serial killer in this, or you see him in Starship Troopers trying to be a soldier, it's
Jake Busey.
Michael J. Fox is pretty much Michael J. Fox. Like, I mean, if you see him, like what Paul said, if you've known him from what is it, Growing Pains.
Get out right now.
That Leonardo DiCaprio was Growing Pains, right?
He was the cousin
kid.
or something.
Yeah.
He was.
But either way, though, if you know him
Family Ties.
Family Ties. If you know him from Family Ties, you know him from Back to the Future.
So you know Nickelback, but you don't know Family Ties.
I had a brain fart.
All right, we're hiring for another podcast.
No, you're not. You can't replace me.
I can replace you with Kim.
No, she's terrible.
We're not the horror PK.
It mess up everything else. So you have to find somebody
We're the
else.
horror pack. PAK.
You need to find somebody else.
See, that's the Blood Squad Blood Pack thing. We're the horror pack. That's it. You're out. So get out of here. All right. So next week we'll be back with PAK. The horror pack.
No.
Either way, though, like it's to me, I view it as if I see this movie another time, like more times than the first, then I think I'll probably grow to appreciate it more. But like, I mean, that's how I'm seeing it now. Is it's probably going to take multiple viewings for me to appreciate what it was.
I thought this movie was good. I love this movie. It's you don't fear the Reaper, man. Right at the end.
I'm getting that cowbell.
I thought it was funny to me that there's so many things that you look at it now, and having seen it, you know, probably in the mid '90s when it first came out, you know, on TV, HBO, like whatever the hell I saw it, but always loved this movie. There's a lot of things that don't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about the things that don't make sense, but overall, it's a good movie. I love it. How do you go wrong? Like the two of you have said, Michael J. Fox, Jeffrey Combs, Dee Wallace, Jake Busey to a certain extent. You've got Gunny. I mean, come on. Like,
got Gomez Adams.
Gomez Adams as the judge. I mean, come on. This movie's got everyone. Peter Jackson, Robert Zemeckis.
Mm-hmm.
Can't
Danny
go wrong.
Elfman.
Danny Elfman. I mean, come
Rick
on.
Baker.
Like, Rick Baker.
So
making
many
special
names
effects.
attached to this movie.
So many names attached to this thing, and it's just it's a good, fun movie. Like, it doesn't make sense, but you
don't need it.
I think you kind of just give it. You just give it some leeway, I guess. I mean, like, all right, it's a good movie. It just really is a lot of fun. Yeah.
See, that's what ultimately I think will end up happening with me. Because, like, I mean, I thought it was going to be, what I thought initially going into it, I thought it was going to be something completely different. But now that I know what it is, I know what to expect on multiple watchings of it.
Yeah, and we saw this when we were much younger, so.
Yeah. There's definitely a nostalgia factor for me. I gotta admit that.
And see, that's the one thing that I'm kind of kicking myself, too, is, like, some of these movies I wish I would have seen when I was younger that would bring up that nostalgia fact. The fact that I'm seeing it now is kind of what's taking a little bit away from it. But, again, ultimately, I think multiple viewings of this movie will make me grow more appreciative of what it actually ended up being.
I found it funny when Lucy was talking to Patricia, and she's got Johnny there, and she's doing the hand thing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a scene, or there's a part where Lucy kind of just, like, has this weird look, like, what the fuck's she doing?
Oh, you mean when she's offering her place? She's like, you can come stay for me for a while.
Yeah, I'm like, really, this chick is just like, I don't know you, but you come live with me.
You come live
Look,
with
her
me.
husband just died. She's got the
she's
extra
going through
space.
some stuff, man.
She's gotten rid of all the crappy Elvis shit. She needs a roommate, all
I
right?
do have one final question.
She needs a roommate, all right?
She does.
But I just thought it was funny, like Lucy was gonna look back and like Patricia's gonna be like jerking Johnny off, and like she looks back and she's kind of just doing that, and you're like, what are you doing? Nothing.
See, that's why Patricia got out of jail
Ectoplasm.
5 years ago. They had a whole year of just ghost sex, and then they started killing people.
I guess that's what it was.
That's what it was.
That's how he stays so skinny as he goes. All the
ectoplasm.
So if
he's
you don't
giving
get your
out.
ectoplasm out, it comes out your eyes, and that's why everyone
Apparently.
else looked like they were crying
Uh-huh.
and deteriorating. So does ectoplasm deteriorate your ghost skin?
Maybe.
We have a lot of questions, Peter Jackson.
Yes, we do.
Fran Walsh,
Ton
who
of
also
questions.
Co-wrote the movie. What was your question, Saul? You forgot it, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
What is it?
How is it that Frank was accused of murder, all of a sudden exonerated and having a happy life with Lucy at the end, where the cop didn't even say, hey, you broke out of jail, which is still illegal.
I think they ended up pinning it all on Patricia's character.
Yeah,
because she killed the mom. It was clear that she had killed her mother.
You could easily just pin it on her because, like, the mom was dead.
But
she
you should
murdered
still be
her.
in jail because it's still illegal to break out of jail even though you're in jail.
That's true.
What did I say earlier?
Lots of
We'll call it movie privilege.
movie privilege.
Movie privilege.
Because that's what happened to the A-Team. Remember, they said it's still technically illegal to break out of prison while you're in prison, even though you...
Were wrongly put in prison.
Yeah.
Not in other countries. In Germany, it's a human right to not want to be locked up. So if you break out of prison or attempt, they don't add extra time on your sentence because you're human. Humans aren't meant to be locked up. So it's a natural thing. So if you're ever in prison in Germany, fuck it. What do you got to lose? Break out.
But only in Germany.
Only in Germany. Don't quote me on that either.
Yes.
Scary Nerd's not condoning.
This is probably something that Paul read online and didn't really vet that well. So.
Google it.
Good.
I think that's it for this week. We're coming back to you in February with birthday month. There are a ton of horror directors with birthdays in February, so we're going to start by doing the 1973 film The Crazies by George A. Romero. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, you can email us at podcast@scarynerd.com. You can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also go to scarynerd.com for more horror news and entertainment news. You can also support us on Patreon by going to patreon.com/scarynerd. And I believe that is everything for this week. Like we said, we'll be back next week with the 1973 film, The Crazies. Anything else, guys?
I shall be back next week.
Yes, I will still be here.
TBD on song. Good night, everybody. Hi, I'm Jake Busey.
That's Gary
Is it
Busey.
too much Gary?
That's,
Too much of
that's
Gary?
like all Gary.
All right, well, I gotta hear Jake more because I'm all Gary. Like, fine, I'm just Gary Busey then. All right.
Mm-hmm.